From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reported tonight,
Ijoma Oyato.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, federal government declares illegal any form of deportation of non-indigents by state governors. Boko Haram erects toll gates in some parts of Borno State, while the military assures citizens that no part of Nigeria will be ceded to terrorists. Adamawa acting governor replies critics, says no one collected money to remove impeached governor Murtala Nyako. And 7 Israeli soldiers killed in Gaza fighting.
And on business news tonight, Minister for Land, Housing and Urban Development promises speedy implementation of the federal government's 10,000 housing project plan.
On sports news, with 2 days to go, Team Nigeria promises medals at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow.
I'm Linda Kibe, and from Abuja, the United States tells INEC not to fail the world by ensuring that the 2015 election is largely acceptable.
There will be no more deportation or registration of non-indigents in any part of the country. That's the strict warning coming from the federal government to all state governors. Well, this warning is coming on the heels of reports that some states are engaged in registration of people, thereby violating the constitution as it concerns the unity of Nigeria. Our State House correspondent, Chukwuma Onekwusi, who covered the National Security Council meeting in Abuja today, reports that violation of this directive will attract severe punishment.
President Jonathan presides over the Security Council meeting. It's not always that they talk to the press after their meetings, which usually comes up on Mondays. They will tell you that issues of security are not to be divulged. But they had to do this because of the urgency of the matters involved.
Primarily, the Council discussed two very important issues. The issue of Boko Haram, that is to say the issue of terrorism in Nigeria, and the most second important issue, the issue of the Chibok girls, then lastly the issue of Nigerians being discriminated against in other parts of the country.
While the fight against terror is on, reports indicate that some state governors have come up with deportation or registration of non-state indigents in the same country, an issue the council says will no longer be tolerated.
The council observed that this threat was more potent than Boko Haram and could disintegrate the country. And we take this very seriously for people to deport people, for people to take people from one place to the other, for people to ask for registration of indigents. No matter where they are free to settle anywhere they like. So we discussed this. The council resolved that the issue of registration of Nigerians anywhere in the country and deportation should stop forthwith. I think to re-emphasize the importance the president has attached to this, that's why I said the two of us should address you people. This must stop forthwith. Security operatives should not be involved. They should not be involved in anybody trying to register people, in anybody trying to deport people. Security operatives must henceforth not be involved. Anybody found, any operative, police, SSS, found being involved in it will be severely dealt with. And also, youth groups trying to foment trouble because of this issue are hereby warned to desist from it, because government is taking serious notice of it. Government is doing everything possible to stem this from getting out of control.
On terrorism and the effort of security personnel to rescue the Chibok girls who have been in captivity for over 90 days.
There are several things the government is doing. There are several attacks that government has stopped. Nobody will remember this one, nobody, because we don't tell you. But several things are going on. The issue of Chibok girls is government is taking efforts, making efforts. We know where they are, but we don't want to endanger their lives. That is the truth. We want to take it gradually and release them at the appropriate time. We know where they are.
They would not take questions, but were quick while walking away to deny reports that former Minister of Education and one of the conveners of the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners has been detained, saying that Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili is in London and not in detention. The Security Council resolved to take the matters from here to the Council of State meeting scheduled for next week. They are, however, optimistic that the war on terror will be won. They ask for the support of all Nigerians. Chukuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
Now, campaigners calling for the release of the Chibok girls have condemned what they call the illegal detention of one of their conveners by operatives of the Department of State Security. Members of the group say that their campaign is not targeted at the government or any particular individual, but aimed at demanding the rescue of the girls. They are also asking the government and relevant security agencies to expedite action to ensure the release of the students.
We travel, we know how long it takes, for our passport to be checked, but when it becomes, uncomfortably long, it just sends that message of being detained. So that one happened this morning. She boarded her flight 5 minutes before the flight took off. British Airways had to wait for her. So we believe that is uncalled for. It's not her first time of traveling. Since she has always been traveling before now, how come it is now that attention is being paid to her? That's one. Secondly, is to say that a new Nigeria has emerged. Bring Back Our Girls campaign will represent that new Nigeria. We have now become what we want to see in the nation, where we defile every form of differences, religious, tribal, cultural, and every differences that may have kept us apart.
Up to now, we have not received, apart from those that were earlier escaped, about 57 of them. Up to this point, no news about anything, either rescue mission, possibility of action taken. Even if there is any, we are not being communicated. It has gone beyond slowness, because we don't expect that within our country, and in fact, in particular within Borno State, over 200 girls, young ones, that are being held for more than 3 months now, and nothing is heard about them. Then issue of slowness, it has even gone beyond that.
Well, we refer you to the earlier briefing today by the federal government, at which the authorities insist that one of the conveners, that's Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, is in London and not in detention. Now, no part of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be conceded to any terrorist group, and this is the assurance coming from the Nigerian military against the backdrop of reports that the Boko Haram sect has taken over some villages and mounted roadblocks and toll gates on the Bamorungala Link Road to Cameroon at the weekend in Borno State. The defense spokesman, Major General Chris Olukolade, told journalists at a joint news conference of security agencies and the military that the military is in full control of northeast Nigeria. He gave the assurance that the military is well financed by the government and is hopeful that the recent $1 billion requested by the federal government will make a difference.
The Nigerian military will not concede any portion, any inch of this country to any group of terrorists. We'll keep farming up at the grabbing to reverse any form of insecurity and any part thereof. No more power that, yes, like we have seen it raised as a matter of issue. The military has continued to justify the use of every money allocated to it. If anybody is in doubt, let it prove. But apart from that, please note one fact that I want to bring out now. As a matter of investigation, you go and check what is appropriated, which eventually gets to the military. I want to reaffirm that the Nigerian military has remained very prudent in the use of the fund that comes to it. If anybody has any other thing to the contrary, let it prove. It's unfortunate that many people are quick to allege corruption, and unfortunately this gets to the level of appearing to be inciting. Beyond that, you mentioned our men complaining. We are not giving to complaining in the military. We know the appropriate means of making case. And that has been exploited, and we are satisfied that government has shown adequate interest, like the citizens.
In the meantime, a Nigerian Air Force helicopter Mi-35 has crashed at a location in south of Bama, Borno State, northeast Nigeria. In a statement by the defense spokesman, Major General Chris Olukolade, the defense headquarters explained that the helicopter, which was on a training mission, crashed due to a technical fault. Major General Olukolade also pointed out that it's been established that the crash was not as a result of any enemy action. He did not, however, reveal any casualty figure, but said investigations into the incident have commenced. Now, it's meant to be his own assessment of the state of the nation, but the former head of state, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, also took a swipe at the federal government, alleging impunity on the side of authorities. In a statement he issued in Kaduna today, the All Progressive Congress national leader condemned the spate of impeachments in the country, calling it a major distraction for the nation's battle against Boko Haram. According to General Buhari, history will not be kind to me if I sit back while things turn bad. The dangerous clouds are beginning to gather and the vultures are circling, and these have manifested in Nasarawa, where the ordinary people have defied guns and tanks to protest the plan to impeach Governor Tanko Almakura in a repeat of the bitter medicine forced down the throat of Governor Murtala Nyako. End of quote. In politics, members of the Ebonyi State House of Assembly have impeached the Speaker, Mr. Chukwuma Nwazunko. Now, 18 out of the 24-member House allegedly impeached the Speaker this morning. They also reversed the suspension of the 3 members of the House, Frank Onwe, Eni Chime, and the Deputy Speaker, Blaise Oji, before carrying out the impeachment. Reports say that Honorable Frank Onwe moved the motion for the Speaker's impeachment, which was seconded by the minority leader Enyi. Honorable Eni Chime, representing Afikpo Southwest, went on to move the motion for election of Mrs. Helen Nwobase, representing Abakaliki South constituency, as the new Speaker. Well, the newly sworn-in acting governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Fintiri, has taken a swipe at those who say the House was bribed to remove the former governor of the state, Murtala Nyako, from office. The acting governor was in the presidential villa today, insisting that the former governor defrauded the state, adding that he came to give the president details of the situation in Adamawa. He told State House correspondents after the meeting that everything's not about money, and challenged those who leveled the allegation to come up with evidence.
You saw the allegations and they've been proven by the panel, so that cannot be the reason why we removed the man, and there are so many other issues that we could not even bring as part of the allegations that formed his removal. Definitely, as a PDP man that has taken over as the acting governor in Adamawa State, I have to say that I brought back to my party the stolen mandate by the former Governor Nyako. Abu is not an opposition man. He only stole the mandate of PDP into APC. And how did the president get involved in this local issue in Adamawa? The man has stolen our money. That is the bottom line of it.
Well, news just coming into us suggests that the impeached governor, Murtala Nyako, has been sighted somewhere on the streets of the French capital, Paris, fueling speculations that the governor has fled the country. He was removed by the State House of Assembly members last Tuesday for alleged gross misconduct and abuse of office. The impeached governor has not been seen in public since then. In part 2, after the break, a truck crashes into a crowded market in Lagos, killing 2 people. That's in a moment. Do join us again.